All right, let's get this thing going. Is this thing on? Seems to be on. See if we have audio. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Frames dropping, audio seems to be being received. So hey, what's up? This is Dave. This is What's Up Dave, my daily stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet. And looks like we have audio here. It's Thursday, December 14, I believe. Yes. And let's see what's going on today. It's a nice sunny day for once. The big news is I finally finished putting together the IKEA Billy Bookshelf that I got. Was it Tuesday? I can't even remember. So I spent yesterday building it and just kind of moving some things around. It's not quite all set up yet. I did do a puttering stream last night when I was just building the thing. Managed not to kill myself, which is always good. Didn't break anything. Didn't strip any bolts. Let me see if I can get this a good picture of it. Before I switch to that though, like we can take a look at the what it looked like, the area looked like before. This was a pretty close approximation of my setup before. Yeah, this is kind of how it was. These are different monitors. But until now I had this table here on the left side of things. What is the way I can make this go full screen? Window, is there full screen mode? That's something I should do. F. So they had the table on the left side here. This was the standing desk. I had this thing, and then this is the Calyx unit. So it was like this for a very long time. Here's another view. This is a view of my old setup. Here's another view of that area. So this corner in the upper left here is where that table has been moved. I've taken it apart and putting it downstairs. And let's take a look at what the area looks like now. Fortunately, like the lighting here in the room is a little bit messed up. So let's just go this bright. So that's replaces the table unit. Maybe that will work. The standing desk is still there for now. It's actually much darker in here than this camera is showing. So this will go away. This will be mounted on the wall. I'm going to move this back downstairs and have maybe the PC set up down there for gaming and stuff. And that should clean up this entire area here, which is like a big mess. That will be very pleasing, I think. You can see like all those exposed wires. All those will be hidden. I'll get some sort of cabinet or something like that to hold all the stereo components and all that stuff out of the way. So then this whole area becomes, I should get like another couple of feet of space here, which is significant in the small size of this room. And I think that will make everything look much nicer. Much more relaxed and cafe-like. I have this shelf anchored now, so it won't fall over. I am overall very, very pleased. I'm not so sure what exactly I'm going to put in there. I may put some sort of frosting on the bottom to hide everything below here. But this color even worked out pretty well too. This is not just like a black blue one, but it's a dark blue that's a similar hue to the walls, so it kind of fades into the wall, which is what I want. And I can still put accent stuff around it to pop things out. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I was able to start to clean up stuff that's on the Calyx over there. Still not sure where to put everything, but overall this should clean up quite nicely. And then I can go back and start figuring out what to do with lighting. Things like these I ordered 2 more of these vertical, well, these lamp things that have some LED par 30s in them. Or these par 40s. So those are LED 4000K daylight balanced lights. And I'm pretty happy with the progress so far, particularly with the side over on this side. The shelf looks good. Just need to get some more stuff on the walls. I'm glad I was able to get this thing back in my car. It just barely fit, and I was worried that it would crack in half on the ride back home because of those glass doors that are there. But yes, things are coming along quite nicely. And I think once that TV is mounted there and once the console is out of the way, I'll feel like this living room cafe is ready to open. At least then have the regular events here, because there'll be the space to have people sit around and talk. It won't feel quite so crowded by all the table stuff. And I still have my workstation here, which if you haven't seen this in a bit, so this portable cart thing, which I think I might paint. Let's see. It's probably not going to give you the best idea of it. Let's move this back a little bit more. Whoa. I can't even see the monitor now. Thanks, Kim. Yeah. So that's where everything is right now. This window is blowing out everything. I mean, this looks like crap, but at least the crap is contained. And I can build some stuff to cover up all these wires and things. I'm getting reminded how bald I am. Oh well. Is it bad form to have bare feet when you're streaming? Maybe I should get like streaming slippers or something. No idea. Anyway, that is the major thing that's going on right now. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? I talked about the bookshelf, the living room changes are coming up. Yesterday I had lunch with my friends Gary and Sid. Went down to a place nearby called Pressed Cafe and had a nice bagel salmon sandwich, which actually, if you want to see my sandwich, which I'm sure everybody does, where would that be? Yes, this was lunch. Oh, that's weird. So that was actually a nice sandwich. I was pretty happy with it. Then for dinner I went to the Vietnamese place. There's only one Vietnamese place now in Nashua. The other two that were here closed. Although there's another place that apparently is opening called Pho Street. So I just was, as you can tell, I'm not on my diet. I really should be. Because there is much weight to be lost still. I just bought this coat though that was, I think, that I want to be able to fit a little bit better on me. So that will be the incentive to do that. I just get this position back. So I'm feeling self-conscious about my bare, pale feet. All right, so what else are we talking about? One last thing would be, let's switch over here. Sunshine is shining my face. Some of the things we talked about. Gary is one of the more creative and capable people that I know. He has like very successful in stuff he's done. Former Eagle Scout, or I guess still an Eagle Scout. Maybe once you're an Eagle Scout, you're always an Eagle Scout. Very environmentally conscious. And he's just always trying to help people. And he's always trying to help people almost to his detriment. Because, like, some people who are helped aren't very, they don't reciprocate, or, I don't know, it sounds very frustrating. So he wants to help people, but he's like, sometimes it just gets him that so many people need help, or so many people are making poor decisions. I think that's really what bothers him the most. So it's kind of a push-pull thing. And so he was talking, I was asking him like about motivation. I was mentioning some of the things I was facing about not being motivated by wanting to make the best thing in the world by myself, because I had realized that I don't really like, I don't like working by myself. That's it. I like working with a team or I like working with people who are just as interested in the problem as I am. Not interested in just doing it just for myself. I thought maybe I was for the longest time, for the past, 45, 50 years or whatever, however old I am now. I'm almost 50. And just now I'm figuring this out. But yeah, I don't like working by myself. Want to work with people who are just as invested with the problem, with the challenges I am, and excited by it. Which is why a lot of my graphic design client experience was maybe not as satisfying for me as well, because people were interested in what I could provide for them. They weren't interested in solving the problem with me. And I think that was a key issue. So knowing that I need to have people solving problems, I need to be around people who are solving the same problems that I am. That's important for myself, a sense of purpose and well-being. So expanding on what I talked about with the Groundhog Day resolution stuff yesterday and the day before yesterday. Expanding my personal projects to include people who are trying to solve the same problems, I think, is the most promising path to go down as far as structuring my next round of personal projects. So that's been on my mind. The last topic I have on here is the chat room. Bill was talking about how he'd made some changes to how he was approaching his time management. And the gist of it was that the example he gave was after a meeting call, like instead of like, just immediately jumping in and doing all this other project work, he actually forced himself to take the time to go through the notes and redocument them. And found that he had found a few things that were missing, but his sense of it, the project, I think, consolidated quite a bit, and so he was excited by that, and I was excited by it too, because being able to take back control of your time, I think, is an important thing. It's an important right that you grant yourself if you want to be a productive, mindful person. It's all too tempting to jump into the next thing that someone is telling you to do, and not giving yourself the time to really close down or really come to closure on what you were working on before moving on to the next thing. I think this is a lesson I sort of absorbed already, just by refusing to be hurried anymore, but the aspect of deliberately slowing things down. So time management in the sense that you're giving yourself enough time as opposed to worrying about how much time you're spending. I mean, that anxiety, worry stuff, I don't think helps people when you're doing, when you're trying to be mindful and productive. So those are the thoughts I have right now on that. And with that, I guess I should plan the day. Okay, there's only one thing that's on my mind right now. Let me set this camera up. There's always multiple things on my mind, but right now what I'm thinking about is just getting my house cleaned up again, because building that Billy Bookshelf meant moving around a bunch of stuff, and that means there's junk all over the place. Just setting up this camera here. Does that look good? That looks pretty good. Is it too high? Is it too tall? Let me move this keyboard up out of the way, and let me grab my to-do list. All right. I don't need the mouse, I think, at this moment. All right, so here is, well, let's look at yesterday's first. Well, there's one nice thing about shooting at this time of the day, which is like there's enough light. That's good. I actually have a secondary light here doing some fill. Does it make a difference? Makes a little bit of difference. So, I'm going to review. I haven't really been filling this out this week. The last thing I filled out was Friday, it looks like. So, well, I'm going to just look through these pages and make sure this is something I didn't miss on this. We'll grab a pen. Thursday. So there's some people to get back in contact with. Today is Thursday, December 14th. And what? It's 12. I'm going to say I just started at 12, but that might be in my habits reminder here. That would be diet, water, and exercise. And so I'm going to say I'm going to start at noon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's see. I don't think I'll write stream down, but as a task, because I do that every day anyway. Streaming right now. I did take care of the health plan stuff. That's all out of the way. I did pay the printer. Didn't do the how-to video. Didn't do estimate taxes. No, but I pay property taxes. And I also need to renew my CCL. I need to, pay some medical bills. I did release the V4 ETP. Cross that off. And one of the key tasks today is to take out the recycling, because the recycling actually is making it so I can't go into the kitchen. So partly it's because that bookshelf came with a whole bunch of really long, 80-inch long boxes, and now that's in the kitchen and it's clogging everything up. And I had to get rid of that stuff so I can actually cook something. I slipped on it, almost fell last night on it, which is alarming. And then after that, there's just regular household puttering. Was there any? I should check in with Ben about the code changes he was making. And then I should just pick a project to work on. And I think I'll be working on Patreon stuff. Let's say Patreon 1 hour. If I want to push for it, the second thing might be to go to the gym or something. I guess maybe I'll just do some happy bubble time for an hour and see how that takes me. Then happy bubble time is me just putting myself in space and looking at things and seeing what there is to do. At least that's the idea. Alright, so we'll see how well I do fill this out tomorrow, on Friday. It's almost Christmas. I probably should wrap presents. Or review presents. Actually, that's something to do. Review presents. Make sure I have something for everyone. And that will be it. That will be it for now. What am I going to do with this pen? I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's What's Up Day for Thursday. 18 minutes. Hope you're having a productive week. And I'll see you tomorrow. Boink. And now we count to 10. I have a frog in my throat today. It sounds like swing low, sweet chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot. Can't go that low.